Welcome back to My Time to Fly. You know, recently a viewer commented on one of my videos asking, how's it been owning an airplane in a partnership? What has been the good and bad of that situation? So I thought I'd just take a few minutes and talk through my experience over the past couple of years owning an airplane in a partnership. Now, there's a good chance I won't answer your specific questions, or I'll create more questions than what I answer. Don't hesitate to drop a comment below. I'll respond to them as fast as I can because, we're in this together, and all I can do is help share my experiences so that you all can make the best possible decisions. Just a little side note. If you are interested in owning your first airplane, or maybe you already own an airplane and just want to add to the fleet, stay tuned to the channel over the next couple of weeks. Make sure you hit that like button or subscribe to the channel so that there's a better chance that my next video pops up in your feed. I've got a little idea that I'd like to run through the community and kind of gauge interest around. It is really for two reasons. One, to try and get some more affordable airplanes out there on the market, and two, to maybe save some airplanes as a community that are falling to the wayside, that are no longer being maintained, are out of annual, haven't flown in a long time. I think if we come together as a group, as a community, we can make that happen. Anyway, since it's a little boring to just stare at me while I'm talking about airplane ownership, I'm gonna roll a little bit of footage from a recent flight and talk about owning an airplane in a partnership. Thanks for being here. So let's talk about the good stuff first. Number one on the list of a really good thing for me has been partnership size. There are currently only 2 of us in the partnership, which seems to be a great size given all of our variables. Honestly, we've even been considering bringing on a third partner, as we feel like it might keep the plane flying more often, which is great for any airplane. There are really 3 important variables you should consider while deciding on partnership member count, in my opinion. They are, number 1, how much you each plan to fly. My partner and I both strive to fly around 50 to 100 hours a year. And realistically, we're more towards the low end of that range. If your goal is to fly much more than 100 hours per year, then maybe sole ownership would be a better route for you. Number 2, how much airplane you want to afford. As you've likely seen in a video I'll link at the top of the screen, we bought our airplane quite inexpensively. If we wanted an airplane with a higher value, or one that had higher maintenance costs, I would likely look for more partners. And number 3, the amount of independence you want in decision making. My biggest fear with having more than 2 members in the partnership is the stalling of decision making. So far, it's been very easy to arrive at decisions with only 2 of us involved. I don't want to lose that dynamic. The second really good thing in my partnership has been shared goals. It's been great that both of us in the partnership have similar objectives in aviation. Neither of us are on a path to the airlines or fly such a different mission that we need the airplane to be equipped differently. This goes right back to the decision-making comment from above. Since we're both VFR pilots making small trips and flying locally, neither of us has a reason to push for an autopilot, a WAAS GPS, or any other very expensive upgrades. Now, I'm not saying that won't ever happen, but right now, our objectives are aligned well. Finally, the thing that's helped in our partnership has been excitement around the same aircraft. In every partnership, there are compromises that must occur. It's my opinion that the biggest compromise in any airplane ownership partnership is simply what airplane to buy. Very few people can decide what the best airplane is for them as a sole owner. Now imagine how hard it can be when 2 or more pilots are trying to come to a consensus. In our case, we were both open to a variety of airplanes. As you can see in this video linked above, our initial thought process took us from both ends of the spectrum. I'll take the credit for being the persuasive voice that pushed us towards the Mooney. The other leading candidate late in the process was a straight-tail Cessna 182, which ironically enough was being sold out of a partnership where 3 of the 4 members had never flown the airplane or had quit flying. Kinda crazy. Anyway, now that we've owned the Mooney for 2 years or so, we know we bought the right platform. We're each excited now more than ever to have such a capable airplane in the hangar. If you're not able to agree on the right airplane for your partnership, don't force it. Find a new partner that is more aligned with you. Of course, there are some things that could go better in any business arrangement, which shared ownership really is. In our case, we have both made compromises throughout the first couple years of ownership, and I've dumped them into really 2 categories. So these are the 2 things that maybe could have gone better, or maybe we didn't think about going in. Number 1 is what I call responsibility equity. With only 2 people in the partnership, it's pretty easy to divide up responsibilities. But circumstances often force more responsibility to one partner over the other. Now you might say, if I owned the airplane myself, all that responsibility would be mine, which is probably true. However, as a sole owner, you could make decisions without having to consult with your partner, and you can eliminate some of the excess accounting work that is needed in the partnership. This has not been a major issue in our partnership, but there have been plenty of times when one partner felt like they were taking on more responsibility than the other. So number 2 on the watch out list is changing needs. You know, the more partners involved in an airplane, the bigger chance you're going to run into this changing needs scenario. In my case, my partner made a move geographically in the past few months, and now the plane being kept in Sparta, where we've always had it, isn't really optimal for him. Now, we aren't planning to move the airplane, but you can imagine that the further the airplane is from any one member, the less likely they are to fly, and that's not what we want to have happen. This is just one example of changing needs. There's so many more that can arise. Just imagine if my wife and I decided to have a 3rd child, which we're not. That change might make us really want a Cherokee 6. But if my partner didn't want to make that jump, I would just feel stuck. This is just a good example of why it's important to have clear bylaws detailing how partners can sell their share. To wrap this conversation up, owning an airplane in a partnership has been undoubtedly the best option for me. I could not have made the jump into airplane ownership without a little bit of the sense of security and the team atmosphere of having a partnership. I feel I was really, really lucky to find the partner that I did. Somebody who had such shared goals and interests as me. It's made this journey, it's made owning an airplane in a partnership a breeze and really a lot of fun. So like I mentioned earlier, don't rush it. Don't force yourself into a situation that doesn't seem right for you. If it feels like a bad idea, it probably is. Take your time, find the right partner, get in a great partnership, and go find your time to fly. Thanks again for being here. Catch you on the next one.